Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with my Sunday night dinner. And as I wait for people to come in, I will say that I'm going to be doing a couple of things a little different, just as an experiment to see how things would work as far as how I'm going to heat up the main entree as well as mix the cold drink. I do not have a hot drink, and there are no desserts in this ration. So it'll be a little bit of a lighter meal, but that's okay. So of course I'll be showing this repeatedly as time goes on. So what I have, I'll show the front of the bag first. This is XMRE single meal. It's in the same type of bag as the standard US XMRE bag and some of the other ration producers. They use lot, and the 4 digits are the date code after that. And then on this side, it indicates that this one is a halal one. That means the items inside meet Islamic dietary guidelines. It has nutritional information for the entire ration, not the individual components. And it has the ingredients list for all of the components. And it has a list of the contents, and I'll give a close-up. So I apologize for any shadows. It's from my phone mount that I'm using, but there is a cold drink mix in here, but no hot drink. And as I showed in my comparison video with the kosher XMRE, there are no drink mixes at all, neither a hot drink or a cold drink. So when I get into the kosher ones, I will be adding a drink. So again, this is these are not labeled by a menu number. It just shows what it is. So this one happens to be the halal lentil stew with lamb. I titled it backwards, but that's okay. You know, I'm okay with that. And what I have underneath here is one of the foam insulator bags that I got when I did the Chinese rations that I got from foreignamere.com. Dub C is in the house. I watched your Beast video earlier, so that looked pretty awesome. But as I say, I'm going to be using this to put the FRH in. And what I have here, this is the lid for my sea salt grinder. I'm going to throw this salt into the ration heater to help kick it off. So anyway, so this is the one that I opened when I did the comparison between the halal and the kosher XMREs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling the items back out of the bag. Here is the mil-spec flameless ration heater. This is exactly the ones that go into the true military rations. It says a US here. And this is a 2017 ration heater. So because it's been around a little while, I'm going to go ahead and throw the salt in it to help kick it off. And this is the accessory pack. There is just the spoon, moist towelette, and salt, pepper, and a napkin, and that's it. course, I won't be using that because I have my foreignxmre.com spork. I use this in all of my reviews. Plus, I take it with me when I go camping. And this is the sleeve that goes with all of the XMRE entrees. There is just instructions on how to use it. Yeah, they are out of a lot of stuff. Yeah, Pat Miller's in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But you can try the other sites to see what's available, either Emery Nation, Emery Mountain, or allmres.com. You can try some other places. Old Smoky has a link to a site that has Ameriqual full cases. Or are they Sapaco? I'm not sure which one of those, but whatever it is, he has a discount code where you get, it's like 30 some dollars shipped for a full case, just random rashes thrown into the case. But anyway, so you don't get main info on this one. CT's in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, this helps insulate it. Plus, you can fold it up to hold the pouch, but it doesn't work with these pouches because the tear notch goes across this way, or this thing is meant to be used for the pouches that have the tear notch that goes across this way. But since I'll be putting it onto my tray, that really doesn't matter. So this is the lamb with the lentils and the vegetables. And they put the chipotle tortillas. I'm going to stick this in the bag to warm them up. I've never had the chipotle tortillas before, so this will be a good thing to try. And this is the drink powder. It's the raspberry type 3, and that will go in here in my drinking jar, my new drinking jar. And then this is the cheese spread. Right now it's kind of hard, but when you stick this in the heater bag, that will warm it up. And then the last item in here is the only snack. It's salted peanuts. It doesn't say whether or not they're roasted. So I will I'm going to go ahead and get the ration here going. Sometimes these tear notches work, some don't. There, that one worked. I just dumped that salt in. And one thing I'm going to do is in here, in my travel mug, I have some warm water. So I'm going to see if this helps to kick the ration heater off. Saturating the heater pad beef entree in. Well, it's already starting to kick off, so I'm going to put this into this Chinese bag. I'm going to put the tortillas underneath it. And then I'm going to the whole thing in of the ration. I can feel it starting to do its thing, so I'll just leave that there. I just have another glass that has for the cold drink. This is one of those kind where you could put in a bottle. And this has kind of purplish color. I'll just put the rest of that in. Very dark. This is a sugar-free drink mix. No, I'm not going to run out of space for rashes because I eventually eat them. I have bought whole cases of them. By the way, I still have 4 of those My Own Meals, 1 of each flavor, out of that original case that was sent to me. So I'm still sitting on those. And have a duplicate of a ration that I have reviewed previously, but that one is going to be a giveaway. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but that will be a giveaway. So this seems to be mixing up pretty good. I'm not really hearing any powder crunch when I tap the bottom. So there is my drink. I can slide the tray back over here so it's in full view. Trying to see if I can get a hiss off of this, but nope. Oh, there's a tiny hiss. Very tiny hiss. So here are the peanuts. Actually, had to push my almost have to push my tray away from me to show the peanuts, or I could flip this. I could tweak this just a little bit. Just moving my mount. Of course, then it'll be harder for me to read the chat, but that's okay. Just make another bit of an adjustment. Sorry about that. I was just trying to make sure everything is in full view. Well, speaking of pillows, one time on eBay, I did see a pillow that looks like an oversized USMRE bag. Well, I can hear that thing going. I'm going to put it up to here, see if you can hear it. It's not very loud, but it is doing its thing. There you go. Yeah, I had seen that once on eBay, but yeah, there you go. CT can get that MRE pillow. That way he doesn't have to crush an IMP that he might need to eat one day. But yeah, that is it. This is a very light dinner. What I could do is I could get into one of my boxes that I have assorted components in and get something out of there. I got some desserts I can get out. I got a lot of Russian crackers. But then again, I have the tortillas that the cheese spread will go on. So I may pass on the crackers and save those for another day. But I could get something that could be a dessert. Pat, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, you can always catch this on the replay later if you want. But yeah, I could get something out of there for a dessert if I wanted to. Yeah, I got a couple of chocolate bars in there. I got a French coffee energy bar. And believe it or not, I have something from Canada in there. Yeah, I do. I have something from Canada in that box. Yeah, and if the snow is as deep as in some place that I heard it was up there, yeah, snowshoes might not be enough. You would need a dog sled. That's probably what some people up there need right now is a bunch of huskies pulling a sled to get you from one place to another. Yeah, James Ortiz is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What I have going is the Halal XMRE lamb lentils. I got that inside of here. I have the chipotle tortillas in here. I have the cheese spread in here. And what I'm doing is I'm actually going to flip these. Kind of warm them on the other side. And I'm using my Chinese insulated bag to hold everything. And I put salt into the ration heater, which came from 2017. So that's actually going pretty good. And I put warm water into the heater bag to see if that makes a difference, and that seemed to kick it off faster. The heater is dated 2017, so I figured I might want to throw some salt in there. Tracy Phillips is in. The only other items that were in there was, besides the tortillas and the cheese spread, was this raspberry drink mix. It's really, really dark, as you can see. And these salted peanuts. That's all that came in here besides this accessory pack. No hot drink. Just salt, pepper, napkin, spoon, wet wipe. But of course, I have my foreignMRE.com spork. So it's what I use for all of the reviews instead of the utensils that come in the ration. Yeah, I am looking forward to trying the chipotle tortillas, and I like spicy stuff. I'm surprised that I didn't get the cheese with jalapenos. Oh, spicy. I could send up some hot diggity dog from British Rations. I got a few of those little bottles. Or I have the Russian tomato sauce, which would be like their version of ketchup. I have several of those packets, and I actually keep all those in my fridge. But well, I have had the snack bread, but I've only had the multigrain snack bread. I have yet to try the plain wheat snack bread, but I do have that in another ration, so I will be busting into that at a later time. But as I said, I do have 2 boxes of items that I could pull out for a dessert if I feel like it, since all I have to eat is the tortillas, the cheese, the lamb stew, and these peanuts. Yeah, I hear you on that, Dub C. I don't eat spicy stuff a lot because I have the acid reflux. But want to wait a few minutes for this thing to keep doing its thing. So I am going to get into one of those boxes and see what I pull out. All right, I am back, And you'll never guess what I got in one of the mystery boxes, or the latest mystery box that I got from foreignemery.com. You know, they always throw in extra goodies when you order from them. This is a Kit Kat, but see, it's got English there. It's got French, and because I have not seen this particular label design down here, this gave me a clue that this could be Canadian. And then when I looked on the back, it has info about Canada. So this is a Canadian Kit Kat. So I thought, sir, Canadians in the house, I should go ahead and get this and add this to tonight's meal. So I'm going to put my drink back there, and I'm just going to leave the Kit Kat right there. So I just had to do it. So just for you Canadians, I have that Kit Kat. I'm going to go ahead and take a munch on some of these peanuts. See whether or not they're roasted as well as salted. They are salted, and they might be lightly roasted. They don't taste completely raw. So they're actually pretty decent peanuts. Oh, speaking of Foreign MRE, look who is in the house. And Foreign MRE dropping the super chat. Thanks for dropping in. The Canadian Kit Kat. I'm not sure if Art knows where that came from, but I got it. But I have the XMRE Halal lentil and lamb stew. That's going in here. I got the chipotle tortillas and the cheese spread in there working. I got a raspberry drink mix, which I'm going to take a taste of right now. It's not, even though I didn't use a full 20 ounces of water like it calls for, it does taste a little bit like kind of a weakened version. That's a crapper. Does that mean that you can't sell U.S. stuff anymore either? That's gonna suck. It's really gonna stink that they're doing that to you. They better not be dinging sellers for selling U.S. rations, because then that's gonna give us all a kick in the dupa. There's got to be a way around that. Those idiots have stolen too much stuff already. Yeah, I've heard that you get different versions of different flavors in Japan. Asia, you'll find all kinds of unique flavors. You go to an Asian store, which I haven't been into in quite some time, you'll find quite a few unique items. So I'm opening up this Kit Kat. Oop, it broke, but oops, that's okay. Well, it took a bit of an abuse, you know how USPS likes to treat packages. The last package that I opened up, there are holes all over the outside of the box. And if it wasn't for the packing peanuts, the contents inside would have been complete toast. So there is a Kit Kat, and it broke, so I can give you a look at the inside of it. So I'll just go ahead and eat this piece right now. It tastes just like the Kit Kat I know down here in the States. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull the cheese spread out of here. This is nice and pliable. I'm going to pull I'm going to go ahead and pull the lentils, the lamb stew out of here. Oops, sorry about that. I bumped my camera mount. I'm going to leave the tortillas in there just actually, I'll throw the cheese sauce back in there just to keep it warm. While I get the stew out of here. See, I'm shaking it down so I can rip the tear notch without throwing food everywhere. See, this tear notch goes across. It's got rice in it, it's got vegetables. And I'll just use the XMRE bag as my trash bag. But there is the spread it out. So the lamb, this is that's a good sized chunk of the lamb there. I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste. It's pretty tender. It's got a good amount of flavor to it. The rice is a bit soft. Let me see if I can... There's a close-up of some of the lentils still holding their shape. They're not excessively soft, which is good. I'll go ahead and pull these out. That didn't rip very well. There we go. So this is what the chipotle tortillas look like. I'm going to go ahead and try to separate them. These can be quite fragile. Actually, I will lay I'll lay one there, and I'll just lay the other one on top. A bit of the cheese sauce the cheese wanted to come off. So yeah, get that back up here where it belongs. There should be enough in there for the other tortilla. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this over. But I'm going to take a taste of the tortilla by itself. I can definitely taste the spices in it. Oh, that's really good. I like that. I'm going to take a taste of it with the cheese. Now the cheese is, at least to me, the cheese spread is extremely salty. That's the only thing I don't like about the cheese spread is the high salt content, but you know, I can understand why it's in there. But when you put it on the tortilla, that kind of takes some of that away. So that's almost a quesadilla. When you put the cheese inside of a tortilla and it's heated up, that's basically a quesadilla. Now this lamb and lentil stew is actually pretty good. Now, if the rice was a little bit firmer, it would be even better. But otherwise, this is pretty good. Next time I get the chipotle tortillas, I might have to find some other cheese to put in there. See if I have some pepper jack or the cheese spread with the jalapenos or something like that to put in there. But yeah, I would definitely get these chipotle tortillas again. These are pretty good. I'm just going to turn this around and get that thing out of the way. In fact, while this tortilla is still pliable and this cheese is still warm, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this on here. There should be a bit more on this one since I wanted to try the tortilla by itself. And just for the heck of it, I have a little cheese left. I'm going to put it on this lamb to see how it tastes, see if it does anything to it. I'll take a taste of this. Here's a bit of the cheese. That's actually not too bad, although I would prefer different cheese than this cheese spread. But of course, I'll be finishing off all of this since this is my dinner tonight. Yes, it does look pretty good. Now, would have been nice if XMRE would have put something in there like a drink, like a coffee or tea or cocoa mix or something like that. Here's another big piece of that lamb. Port is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. That lamb is not overly processed, which makes it really nice. So yeah, they did a pretty good one. Yeah, the kosher XMRE that I opened up has a smoked beef. The reason why I chose to open that one up is because it was the closest meat to the lamb. The other kosher one is a chicken gumbo, so I didn't think that would be a fair comparison. But I definitely will look forward to eating that one. Of course, I'll be doing other stuff in between all these XMREs. But this Kit Kat that you see here, that did not come in the ration. They came out of my, I'll call up my, one of my mashup boxes, because I'm going to be doing some ration mashups. But I was supposed to get another package, but for some reason, I never got notified of the shipping, and it ended up getting returned to the sender. So I sent an email about it, that I never got notice of shipping, no notice of a delivery attempt, anything like that. So I don't know if USPS dropped the ball on that one, or if someone else did, or I don't know what's up with that. But I supposedly got a refund, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I contacted the sender on that one to find out why that happened. Here I got salted peanuts, lightly roasted. Oh, ouch, Smitty. Yeah, that's pretty bad when they mess up something like that. Yeah, you'd think they would know better than to do something stupid like that. You know, in the past, people used to post of delivery drivers instead of just placing the package neatly, you know, respectfully on the property they were delivering to. They would just chuck it like it was a bag of trash that they're hurling into a dumpster. And then people wonder why their stuff gets damaged. So I think package handling is getting worse and worse. I don't know if they just don't care or what, but yeah, it's starting to get annoying. I'm going to try a little something just for the heck of it. Putting a little bit on the tortilla here. Well, that spices it up a bit. But I'll probably just eat the rest of it as is. And occasionally take a bite of the tortilla. Urban Preppers in the house, thanks for dropping in. Raspberry flavored drink mix. It's the sugar-free version. I normally don't bother with those, but because I have to watch out. Some of those artificial sweeteners will do weird stuff to me, and so I try to avoid those. I don't go for a lot of that, just to avoid that problem. And we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, this lamb stew, I don't see a whole lot of vegetables in here. I'd see mostly the lentils and the rice. There may be tiny bits in there just for flavor, but I'm not seeing a whole lot. But it's still pretty good. So if you're looking to get a lamb MRE, this XMRE Halal one, yeah, I would say go ahead and get it. You may have to add your own hot drink if you want. You may want to add a dessert if you want, like I did here with this Canadian Kit Kat. But if they still have it in their lineup, I would say go for it. If you get the full case of the Halal XMREs, they come in cases of 12, just as do the kosher ones. Yeah, that might be the way to go. I do want to get a full set of the Halal and a full set of the kosher. And they also do the 24-hour XMRE, the Halal ones, and they come in a case of 6. So, of course, that would take a lot of money each time to get one of those, because that's like well over $100 for one of those. But these came courtesy of All Right Eeyore. Actually, when properly cooked, lentils can be very good. And like any other bean or legume, they take on the flavors of whatever you mix them with. And you get fiber, you get protein out of them. So I have a few bags of lentils in my long-term food storage. So I will have those to eat when I have to bust into all that stuff. And there are different kinds of lentils. You can get the brown lentils that you most commonly see at Walmart and other grocery stores. If you go to a Middle Eastern grocery store, or if you look online, or some other stores may have red lentils. So you can get those as well. And I think there may be a green lentil out there somewhere. So get different kinds of lentils, different kinds of beans, different rices. This is your basic white rice that's in here. It's not the much longer grain basmati that I eat a lot of, because that's what we use at my mosque. But yeah, I would definitely go for this again. Maybe if I get another one of these, I might do what sometimes Gun Dog likes to do. He likes to jazz it up a bit. You know, mix a few other things with it. You know, treat it in a different way. Or maybe put it in a future ration mashup. Who knows? Gonna have another handful of peanuts. Yep, it is good to try new stuff. And that chicken gumbo that I have will be an interesting one to try. So I look forward to trying that. But I will probably get to that one in February, because I have some other rations that I want to get into. One of the two that I recently received, I may bust into one of those next Sunday. Or I may go ahead and do a mashup, because I got enough things in there. I can make at least 3 meals out of it. Out of all those goodies. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do next Sunday. But I will get to that chicken gumbo. And even though I have only lived in the South for a few years, when I was in college in Arkansas, I'm just going to put that like that. I have had some gumbo while I was down there. But I've had the seafood gumbos, so that's what I'm familiar with. But the chicken gumbo does sound good, and I'm hoping that when I get into that bag, that there will be something in there to spice it up. Otherwise, I may have to get something out of my stash to throw in there. I have a seasoning called a chili spice called Slap Ya Mama, and it's literally called Slap Ya Mama. And I took that to the Iowa YouTuber or the Midwest YouTuber meetup in October, and I snuck that in the chili that the community chili that was made, and then I offered some to another attendee who was making another soup, and she wanted some in there, so she put a few shakes in there. I don't think sucralose would work in the gumbo. I was thinking something more of a Creole seasoning, or maybe something a little more spicy. I also have the little Tabasco bottles. I got the Hot Diggity Dog bottles. I got some Frank's Red Hot. I got some other hot sauces that have come out of rations. And I have just some other packets of hot sauces that I've nipped from restaurants. So I could use one of those. I could go across, go a couple blocks away and go into Tasty Tacos and nip some of their own brand of hot sauce packets. I'm just checking the chat. M. Langford is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Well, Deb C., when I post up that I'm going to be doing the chicken gumbo, you'll have to watch out for that. And if you can't catch it live, you can always catch it on replay. But it'll be interesting to see what XMRE has done with that one to put into that bag. The other halal MRE that is in that is a breakfast one. It's got apple cinnamon oatmeal, and for some reason it has pilot crackers and cheese spread. I don't know why that would be paired with breakfast, but who knows? I may decide to change that one up. Take that cheese spread out and maybe put a jelly in there instead, or at least a peanut butter and jelly. Uh, 88 Katana is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I just finished off a lentil stew with lamb, big pieces of lamb. Not a whole lot of it, but it was not overly processed. It wasn't a ground meat. It's more like just cubed that falls apart like a pulled meat would. So this is 88 Katana's first time in the chat. And for those that have never been here before, you see that $5 up there. That is a super chat that Art from foreignmre.com dropped earlier. And I do appreciate that. So that will eventually go towards something for the channel. And this is the chipotle tortilla, I put the cheese spread in there to make a quesadilla out of it. And these are salted peanuts. They do taste like they're lightly roasted. And the Kit Kat here came from the last box that I got from Foreign Emery, and this is from Canada. So this ration didn't come with a dessert, so I decided to get into my mashup box, well, one of them, and get that Kit Kat out, since there are a couple of Canadians in the house. So I figured, what the heck? I'll just grab that, and that'll be my dessert. But these chipotle tortillas are pretty good. I will definitely go for these again. Sorry, my mount keeps shaking. It's not all that stable. Well, you should, if you live near a military surplus store, that's where you can buy them locally, or you can order them online. For instance, say you go to XMRE.com, foreignemery.com has U.S. rations. You can go to XMREmountain.com, plus there are sellers on eBay. There's allemeries.com. There's other sites that sell survival gear that may have MREs. You can get them single or either the full case. You can get, for U.S. military MREs, you can get the case A and case B, so there's 12 in each, because there's 24 total menus. There's also the meal cold weather, which the main entree is a freeze-dried item made by Mountain House. So I have had the turkey tetrazzini, the meal cold weather. And once that stuff reconstitutes, that is a lot of food. And, for people who have to be outside in the cold weather all day, you're going to need all those calories to keep you going. Thanks for dropping in, Prep for it. Hope to see you another time. But yeah, if you're never had any kind of a ration before, you can also get these XMRE. It's a company that makes them for the civilian market, or they can be used for disaster preparedness or emergency preparedness. Relief organizations may get a whole bunch of these. There's also AmeriQual does APAC, and then Sapaco has one. There's Emery Star has their own brand of civilian MREs, which are pretty much like the mil-spec ones. I'm not sure if Warnick does their own civilian version, but there used to be a meal kit supply. I have never gotten a hold of any of those, but I would like to try some of those if I can get a hold of them. But I've seen a few reviews of those on YouTube, but haven't seen anyone get into any of those lately. But if it's possible to get the meal kit supply ones, that would be another option. But if you go on to sites like XMRE Nation or XMRE Mountain or All MREs, you can create your own custom ration. And I've done that, and a couple of times. I've done it with XMRE Nation and XMRE Mountain, and I tried to do it with all MREs, but the problem is I never got the package. So I wouldn't be surprised if that one is being taken apart and all the individual components are put back in their inventory. I mean, they'd be wasting a bag if they did that, unless they choose to sell it as, as a one-off. I don't know. But hopefully I'll get a reply from them soon, after I sent an email today about, wondering why I never got any notice about shipping info, so, I couldn't track it. So I don't know what's up with that, but I'm hoping to find out. I like to have options. I like to have multiple sources. That way, if one for some reason becomes unavailable, there's another option. And if with USDA wanting to shut foreign MRE down, which I really think is stupid of them to try to do that. If there's something that we can do to prevent that, I'm all for that. A.D. Quintana, thanks for dropping in. You're more than welcome to come back another time to see what my Sunday dinner will be like. So far, this seems to be working out for Sundays. Yeah, there will be a Sunday in March where I would not do this. The day I come back from the Country Prepper Memorial Camp, which is coming up on March 20th through the 22nd. So I will not do a review that evening because I'll be coming back from that trip, and I have no idea when I will come back, and I'll probably just want to just drop my stuff and just chill for the rest of the evening. But I have a video about that on my channel, plus I have links to other videos about why we're doing this for an Iowa brother we lost last year. And of course, I found out recently that another YouTuber I watched all the time, Megawoods Walker, just suddenly passed away. And I heard about him from another channel that I watched that somehow he found out. So I checked out his channel and I saw others had posted about him passing. So, and he had just put a video up the week before. So, but yeah, Country Prepper Jeremiah Jewell, we are having a fundraiser to raise money for his family, and I am selling the Ranger beads that I make. I have 54 of the full-size ones and 8 of the, I call the minis because they're thinner strings and smaller beads. But I have that in my video about the memorial camp, that I'm selling those, and all the proceeds from that will go to his widow and family. So that's what I'm doing to kind of help out. Just going to check the chat. Thanks for dropping in, Smitty. Yes, he did. I have a piece of Jeremiah's Kydex, or he made a bunch of the tinder tin holsters that have a sleeve for a ferro rod, and he put a ferro rod in there. And I never got to meet Jeremiah personally, but I was given one of those tins, and so that goes with me on every camping trip, whether I get to use it or not. But it's a permanent part of my camping fire kit. And he put some fat wood in there. So yeah, that has a little extra special meaning. I was going to have him make a new sheath for one of my knives, but I never got that done because he got sick, and then he got into a bad accident that was not his fault. And well, he just never got the chance to get his Kydex business up and running again like he wanted. But he got a few things made, but then, it was time for him to go. So that's why we're doing this memorial and fundraiser for his family. And because he was a prepper, he had to do it on a budget. He didn't make a whole lot of money, but he did set up his wife and kids go. But what we can do to help out the family, we're going to try to do. $100 each plus shipping, and I'm sure shipping will probably be I don't know, I haven't actually figured that out, but I'll send it in a bubble mailer to protect it, and so that'll probably make it maybe, I'm not sure if it'd be the same price for I would have to mail one out to see exactly how much it would cost, and then I could get a better idea. Or find out how much it would cost to mail one out. But, it probably shouldn't be more than maybe $1 for postage or something like that. But, yeah, then the minis, I'll sell them for $1 each, and it would cost a little bit, might cost a little bit less for shipping, but probably not. I don't know, because they vary by weight, because some of the I have different styles and weights of beads, different weights of the strings, and a lot of them that I used are shoestrings. If I change out shoestrings, or I just go buy a pack of shoestrings, I cut the strings in half if they're the standard length. Then I tie a knot in the cut end, then just start putting them on. Then and I have a loop on the one end, so that could be you can put a carabiner on it. You could put or you could loop it through something like you would to put a lanyard on a flashlight or something like that. Or like you would put a luggage tag on your suitcase. How those loop, you just loop it through itself. You could do that. But I just kept making a whole bunch of them. I sold and traded a few at the Iowa YouTuber meetup when we did our blanket trade. But then I still had quite a few left, and then I just got some more beads and I made some more. Someone did ask me about a particular color. I said, no, I don't have any orange strings. I would have to look for those, but well, since the memorial camp isn't till March, and I'm going to keep this going as long as I can. You know, while I have the stock, you know, if I can get some, if I can find some orange shoestrings. Yeah. Yeah. I do have some pink ones. If you go to that video that I made about the memorial camp, you'll see that I do have pink ones. You know, pink strings with the darker beads. If I can, I'd try to go for a decent enough contrast between the bead color and the string color, or I alternate the beads. You know, when Sergeant Badass of Step 1 Survival, when he makes the Ranger beads, he alternates dark and light when he does his. But I did that on some of them. In some of the recent ones that I added. Oh yeah, paracord. But the thing is, if you want, you either have to find the right bead size for the paracord, or what some do is they'll gut the paracord, take all the inner strands out, and then double that. If you want to use this, you know, the common beads, you know, they're usually called pony beads. I'm not sure what the whole diameter is of those, but if you use the most common size of, you know, those beads, then you have to, if you just use one strand of paracord by itself, the beads will just slide too much and they won't stay in place. But for some reason, if you gut the strand and you double, you're basically doubling the paracord shell. And you know, that's supposed to work. But for me, I like the shoestrings because they are wider, usually wider to begin with. They're not as slick as the paracord. Although some shoestrings are maybe slicker, but if they're wide, then the beads are less likely to slip. So when you go to move them, when you're doing your pace counting, they would stay in place. Yep. You know, and I recycled shoestrings. You know, when I get rid of a pair of shoes, I take the shoestrings out and I save them. And so that's what a lot of mine came on. When I recently changed the strings on my boots, I didn't throw those old boot laces away. I just cut them and turned them into Ranger beads. And so that's what I did. So someone asked me if I had an online store where I sell these, and I said, oh, nope. I don't know if it's something I'll keep doing, or it would warrant having some kind of like an Etsy store. I don't know what's involved in selling on Etsy, or if you have to meet a certain minimum requirement for sales or inventory or something like that, or is if I sold on eBay, you know, it really wouldn't matter if I don't sell anything for a while. But if I choose to keep making the Ranger beads, then I would probably have to I'd have to probably sell enough of them to warrant keeping it going, or I could have an online store or something like that. But I wanted to go ahead and try to sell what I have as a fundraiser to help out the jewels. That's why I'm doing it now. I may reserve one string as a gift for Jeremiah's wife, and maybe one for each kid. I may do that, or I may make special ones for them and just not sell those and just give them to them when we go to the camp, because they are going to be there. So we will get to meet them in person. And so I may go ahead and do that, just as an extra gift to them, in addition to the money that I hope to be able to give to her for her family. But I'm not the only one raising money. TAC from AOK Foraging and Adventures also has a fundraiser going, and she's doing it through her PayPal. And it's strictly a fundraiser for that, and but for anyone who buys my ranger beads, they'll pay me through PayPal, and then I will just separate off the money that I get from that to give to the family when I get up there in March. So, and I'm pretty sure there may be others that are being worked out for fundraisers. So, but anything we can do to help the family out, because the kids are still young, and she's got to raise them alone now. But hopefully by us doing this, she won't feel alone. But again, if you have any questions about that, check out the videos that I have linked under my Memorial Camp video. I put 3 video links, plus I put up 2 email addresses where you can inquire about that Memorial Camp and how you can help if you want to. If you're not able to attend, you can still help out. And I had one comment saying that this viewer does want to help in some way. Maybe attend, but if not, then help the family in another way. So that's one has already gotten a response so far, so I'm happy about that. I'm still munching on the peanuts. Well, that's okay. The camp is going to take place here in Iowa. There is a property that another YouTuber, Steve Brahms, runs as part of the family business, their farm. So that is the area where we will be camping, right near there. So he was kind enough to offer up this land for us to use. And so that's why his email address is there to contact him about coming, and as well as how to get there if you want to come. And of course, tax email is there. So contact either one or both of them, since they are the two people who are the main organizers of this. And the only reason I will be able to go is I will have a driver, since I don't drive. We will also be having a potluck, so I have my dish all ready to go. I got the mix made up. I got all the ingredients in a bag, so all I will have to do is get the water boiling and then just dump it all in and just stir it up, because I dehydrated some of the ingredients and the rest were dry to begin with, like the instant potatoes. I have some powdered milk in there. I have seasonings in there. Plus I dehydrated potatoes, I dehydrated some celery, I dehydrated some onion. So all that's going to go in there. I got some chicken bouillon cubes that I threw in there for a little extra flavor. So yeah, that's going to be my contribution for the potluck. That's the first time I've mentioned, in a video what I'm going to be doing. I'm in the Facebook, the group chat that we got go for it, but outside of that, I hadn't mentioned my contribution until just now. But yep, that's how that is going to work. And there's some other events that are going to be going on. That since most people who are attending will already be into prepping, we'll have some prepping discussions and things like that. And so that should be good. Yeah, I'm saving the best for last. It's Canadian Kit Kat. So any more questions or stuff you want to talk about? So otherwise I'll probably just call this one done and get this in processing so that people who missed it the live can catch up later. But I do want to thank all those who did drop in. And again, I thank Art from XMRE for dropping the super chat. And I really hope that this business that he and Nina has had going for quite a few years doesn't get shut down, especially since they are they're selling is either U.S. rations or stuff that you wouldn't get rated by customs, but yeah, if something that we can do to help them out, yeah, I'm all for it because they are good people. I would hate to see them get a. They're trying their best. You know, it's a side gig for Art outside of his regular job, and of course Nina has her own work. But they've been trying to. Someone doesn't like that. So there's got to be a way that we can support them to keep them from losing what they've had going for a while. You know, I'd hate for them to get their YouTube channel shut down as well as the business. So that would really stink. We're going to have your back as much as we can. Whatever we can, we're going to try. So we don't want you to get shut down. We don't want you to lose your YouTube channel or the business. So whatever it takes, we'll have to try to do. But if there isn't anything else that anyone wants to add or ask or whatever, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this good. Let this one get processed for later viewing. And again, I want to thank you all for watching, especially those who have popped in for the first time. Do come back. And for those that are catching up later on the replay, again, I thank you for watching as well. And support Art and Nina. And if you can help us help the Jewels, and check out the videos that I have linked on my Memorial Camp video. All the info is there, and go check them out. And if you can help, that's fine. If not, spreading the word, just showing support. That's also good. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.